everybody, this is Adele and April with Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Technique Tuesday. We are here with in Magic Kingdom for magic hours. Extra magic hours. And behind us is the castle.
I can be Vanna.
Yay! So here's Technique Tuesday. We hope you enjoy.
Hello everybody. So today, for today's technique, I am actually taking a piece of ribbon. This one does have some wire in it, but I want to show you this technique with a bigger piece of ribbon, and then we are going to end up using a smaller piece. So as you see, I have quite a bit of ribbon here for this technique, but we're going to be making ribbon roses. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my ribbon, and I am first going to just fold it in half. So this is my halfway point. And what I want to do at that halfway point is I want to just catty corner it. So it's kind of like a triangle in the middle. And then what we're going to do is, if you've ever made like, I always do this with paper straw, like the things that straws come in. So like the paper the straws come in, is we're just going to go back and forth with our ribbon to make, it kind of looks like a chain, I guess. When you pull it apart, you kind of get like a funky pattern like this, if you know what I'm talking about. So you're just going to kind of go back and forth with your ribbon until we get to the very end. So I'm going to do that because I have quite a bit of ribbon here. You don't need as much as I have, but for this demo, I wanted to kind of use more ribbon. So all right, and here we are. So I've come to the very end, right? So you're going to get something that kind of looks like this. If you have smaller ribbon, you can use like a ribbon like this. That's totally okay. But I have this, right? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this at the bottom, and I'm going to pull one of these strings. So I'm going to hold it, and we're going to pull one side of the string. And you're going to see as we pull it, see how it creates a flower? So then we can kind of twist it, and then we could tie it off at the bottom, and you're gonna get a pretty flower. So I have a little bit too much there, so let's release some of this. But look, just adjusting a little bit. See how we kind of get like a little rose, like a silk flower there? So that was with the bigger ribbon. I just wanted to kind of show you the concept. Let me show you with a smaller ribbon because it does look better, I believe, with a smaller ribbon. So once again, we're going to do the same thing that we did to start. And we just got to go back and forth. All right, so here we are again. So ready, watch this time. There we go. So see how you kind of have like this little flower? Isn't that really pretty? And then you could just tie the base, and this can be used for an embellishment on any of your pages. So this one's a little bit flatter, but then since you're pulling all of the excess ribbon with you, you can kind of use that as well in your project. So let me take another clear one and do another one just to show you different sizes of these ribbons. So there you have them. So if you do have a big ribbon like this, I do suggest maybe taking it with a credit card and maybe cutting it like a few times. You don't have to do as many as I did the first time. It will look pretty if you do it smaller. So either way that you do it, but it can be done. This technique can be done with any size roses that you want, and then you could just tie them off, and then you can just add them like a glue dot or something and add it to page embellishment. So just one more thing here too. So as you see here, we did it and we didn't actually cut off the ribbon. So this can actually be used for a card, and then if you make other little ones that can go around the card, we'll probably end up using these three on a Throw It Together Thursday, but you can kind of see how beautiful that is, and then that actually makes this into an embellishment at the same time. So depending on what ribbons you use, you can kind of make it fun and fancy. So we also have another option to make some silk flowers. So this is the other option. So you can see that this is definitely more, looks like a flower. It kind of has a little bit more definition. This is a little bit flatter. So depending on what project you're doing, you could either pick one of these. So let me find a good ribbon to show you this with. I have a box of extra ribbons that I like to keep on hand, which are perfect for little ideas like this. So I've got this little ribbon here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to first take a scissor and snip a little notch at the end here, just like that. And now I'm going to take my needle. I'm actually going to take a thinner needle for this specific thread. Let's take, if you're a sewer and you have multiple needles, pick whichever needle is best for you. And then I'm going to wind this up the ribbon, and we're going to just kind of snake it through. Going through, so through it and up, to see how we're kind of creating something like that. And so this is actually a lot because this is a smaller thread, so this is probably good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then thread this little notch that I made through my needle, right? I don't need to pull it all the way through. I just kind of need it like halfway through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist. We're going to twist the ribbon. So see how the ribbon is twisting. I'm trying to show you and like do it at the same time, so it's a little difficult. But we've got that ribbon kind of twisted on our needle here. Twisted that around. And then with that little piece that we had attached up top, we're gonna just pull that through the ribbon. So that little end piece is gonna end up coming through. And see how we've now have like a tiny little rose. Let's see if I can focus on this better. There we go. So you can kind of see that it's a pretty little rose now. All right, so now I'm just gonna take a Zippo lighter here, and I'm going to trim the bottom of this. We're gonna take this and just melt the edge of the ribbon. Be careful of your fingers when you do this. And then I've also seen that you can kind of melt this up into it. So see how it kind of like leaves the plastic, and then you can kind of use that to seal off your little flower. So we can do the same one with this. So let's trim up and clean this edge. And just burn the edge of this. Like that, making this a clean edge. And then do the same thing with this. You have something that's a little bit heat proof, you can use that too to kind of push against it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut this up a little bit further. So I trimmed that down, and I'm gonna just burn a little bit. And then I'm gonna push it against here to help seal that. So see how that's sealed? And then we've got that cute flower. So just so you can kind of see, there are a few different ways that we can do these roses. I actually kind of like how this one looks frayed. I could cut it off and like undo it, or I could just fray both sides, and then kind of gives it the look of a little leaf, which is cute. And so this way, the first way I showed you is if you don't have a lighter or you don't have a scissor or a needle, you could do it that way. And then the second way I showed you is if you have a needle and you have everything else, you can do that. So just so you can kind of see a few different ways to make a few different types of silk roses. This one flipped upside down on me. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday.
And that's Technique Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
If you have any comments, please let us know, or questions, leave them in the comments below.
in that box below.
In that box below.
Enjoy the castle.
Bye.
It does look fuzzy.
That's Technique Tuesday.
Start again.
Oh, you want me to say that?
She was supposed to say that, but that's okay.